Back when I was just a wee lad in my teenage years, I was busy taking auto shop classes to learn to work on cars. I was preparing for my driver's license exam, and I would take driver's education courses for fun. I've always been enamored by anything motorized, and so I took the process of learning to drive very seriously. And one thing that sticks out in my mind from those days is learning about pre-drive inspections, a seemingly long lost practice in our society today. Now, I don't know when we as a society got in the habit of just getting in the car, starting it up, and going on our way. So I do have some theories of more reliable cars and less reliable drivers. But it's a super dangerous habit to be in. So in this video, I'm going to go over 3 ways that is super dangerous and 10 things you can do before getting in the car and heading down the road that will help ensure the safety of you, your passengers and loved ones, everyone else on the road, and your car. And if at any point during this video you feel that this is a topic that is worthy of a thumbs up, make sure to hit that like button so that I'll know to make more videos like this, and or YouTube will know to spread this video further. Number 1, check your fluids with your dipsticks, check your reservoir levels, and check underneath the car for any major signs of leaks, any puddles of any fluid. This can help prevent catastrophic failure of your motor, and it can keep your car from overheating or catching fire down the road. This is something that should be done honestly every time you drive, and more so if you're about to go on a longer drive. But many people don't check it ever and just rely on the mechanic every few thousand miles to tell them how their levels are doing. But the mechanic can't tell you in between stops with them if anything has started leaking or if anything is burning off more than it should. So that's on you. Number 2, check your lights and blinkers. Depending how many people are in the car with you, you can check more or less. If it's just you, at least check what you can. If there's someone with you, that's your chance to check everything in the back. So your blinkers, your reverse lights, and your brake lights. Lights can go out in between drives. So this is something that you need to check if you want to be visible on the road and have your moves more predictable to those around you. Number 3 is to make sure your brakes work before you get up to speed. I feel like a lot of people don't tap their brakes or use them at all, and they get going and they're going 45, 70 miles an hour or more, and then that's not the time you want to find out that your brakes aren't working well for you. So check them at low speeds before you get going up to your highway speeds. Number 4 is to check your mirrors alignment to make sure that you can see behind you. And you want to do this before you get going, before you even back out or pull out of your parking spot, because you don't want the time when you're checking your mirrors driving down the road to be a time when you need them. You want to make sure those are aligned for you before you need them. So before you pull out, align your mirrors. Number 5 is to check the back seat for carjackers. This is something that may seem like a paranoia thing, but it's really not. That's where carjackers will hide if they get into your car for whatever reason, in whatever way. That's where they're going to hide and wait for you to get going down the road, and then they're going to, put a gun to your head or a knife to your neck. So this is something that you want to do every time you get in the car. And before we go on to number 6, the theme that you might see in all of these tips is that you should be in tune with your vehicle. You shouldn't be driving down the road in something that you just... It's not a toy. It's a machine. It's a very heavy piece of machinery, and it's up to you to operate it properly. So if you're not doing your job, you're putting yourself at risk, your passengers at risk, you're putting other people on the road at risk, and it's not responsible. So you need to be in tune with your car. If these things seem like they're inconvenient to do, first of all, you need to figure out how to make them convenient, which with time it becomes super easy. It's not even an issue. It's like part of driving. But if you can't find it within yourself to make these convenient, then maybe you shouldn't be driving. Number 6, check your windshield wipers and washer fluid to make sure that they're working. You don't want to be caught in the rain and your windshield wipers don't work, and you don't want to be splattered with something on your windshield and not be able to wash it off. So before you drive is the time to check that. Number 7, check your tires before you go. This is just a quick check. You just run around, make sure they're inflated at least to a passable degree. And if you have a tire pressure gauge, you can check. That's even better. Make sure that they're inflated properly. But you want to at least make sure you don't have any like close to flats. And then also you want to check your tread. Make sure there's no broken tread. Make sure, and this is another one of those ways that you kind of stay in tune with your car. So you want to be always knowing how much tread you have on all 4 tires, or more than 4 tires, depending what you're driving. This is what keeps your car on the road. So this is one of the most important things that you can do before driving. Number 8, check under your car for hanging suspension components or hanging any component. You don't want to be driving down the road, one of those people that has part of their suspension hanging off of the car and just dragging down the road. That's how you, first of all, can lose control of your vehicle. Secondly, it's how you destroy your suspension or any underbody components. You can waste a lot of money by not just taking a peek under your car before you go. Lumped into number 8 is checking in your wheel wells for animals. This is how to make sure you don't start your drive running over your pet, someone else's pet, or any animal for that matter. Number 9, let your engine oil warm up before you take a drive. So you want your oil level to be in between the C and the H, pretty much right in the middle. This is critical for keeping your engine running a long time. This is something we learned in auto shop class. One of the first things we learned. If you drive, every time you drive, if you take off before your oil is warm, that's a good amount of time, 10 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the newness of the car. That's a good amount of time when the oil is cool and the metal and metal is rubbing together without good lubrication, and that eventually wears out your engine components, causing you to have to get a engine replacement at a lot sooner than you would have to if you just warm up your oil before you take a drive. And number 10, wait to crank that music or get on the phone. You should be driving, the beginning of your drive should be in silence. You should be listening to your car, and you should check on that every so often during your drive. So you don't want to get in the car, blast the music, go out and drive completely ignorant to what sound your car is making. That's how you break down out of nowhere. You want to start the car, listen to it for a minute, then you can turn on music at some point, you can be on the phone, but you don't want to be on music or the phone or anything loud in the car the whole drive. You want to be taking breaks so that you can hear the sound of your car and the state of your car. And then bonus tip, and this might seem obvious to some people, but too many people do this. Too many people neglect this step. If you are overly tired, if you are drunk, or if you are crying, you should not be operating a motor vehicle. You should take a break, wait until those things pass. If you need to stop, take a nap for 10 minutes and then get going. That's better than getting in a crash. If you're drunk, you should wait until that wears off. And if you're crying, you should wait until you're not crying. I guarantee no matter what your drive is, it's not more important than your life. If you want to see us have a safe journey on the Pan American Highway, make sure you subscribe to the channel below, turn notifications to all, and we will see you on our journey. 2 to 3 years, 40,000 or so miles all around North America, Central America, and South America. We'll see you on the Pan American Highway.